Look, I'm gonna be honest with you, I am not the most qualified to talk about this one.
States Exhibit 1.
We've already talked about what Eastern Washington looked like before, as well as what supercharged this event we're talking about today. Let me sum up the video real quick. Eastern Washington was on fire for about 10 million years. Today we're touching the Columbia River flood basalts. For the record, these eruptions are nothing like what we saw with Mount St. Helens, Lewitt, Lawi-Latka. These eruptions are pretty self-explanatory. Flood basalt, or a flood of basaltic rock. On an incredibly smaller scale, we can turn to somewhere like Iceland, where we see the ground is literally splitting open and molten rock is just being flung onto the surface. Recall from our last video that we had a decent-sized power source in the Yellowstone hotspot just to the immediate south, roughly around this time near the Oregon-Nevada border. This section of material was pushing up, as it does very similar today, with enough energetic force that it basically ripped open all of this area. And these occurred in three main places: the Steens Dikes, the Monument Dike Swarm, and perhaps most well known of all, the Chief Joseph Dike Swarm. And yes, everything you see in yellow is the erupted material from these dikes. When you think of basaltic rock, think of the kind of material that you see in the videos of, say, like Hawaii, with the really long, flowy, runny lava that's going all over the place. It's able to spread out. And boy, did it. From the northern parts of eastern Washington all the way down to Nevada, and then from the Rocky Mountains all the way out to the Pacific Ocean, we're looking at 81,000 square miles, or 210,000 square kilometers. Context to that, the city of Seattle, according to their website, is 91 square miles. To put that in terms of the eruption, that's 884.5 cities of Seattle's in total. Or better yet, the country of Belarus, the country of Senegal, or the country of Guyana. Oh, that's not impressive? The flows from this could range at about 3,000 feet, although the deepest parts of it are about 11,000 feet. I know that's in meters, but that's the right way of doing it. There's nothing behind me, I swear. But I want to point out, it wasn't just one big giant eruption. 3,000 feet is just the overall unit, but each individual eruption that made that 3,000 feet averaged more of about 50 to 100 feet of total material that added up to that 3,000. But I did mention that these events occurred from 17 to 6 million years ago. To really describe how energetic these were, the vast majority of material, almost 90% of it, came out just within the first million years, which roughly averages to about 0.23 cubic miles, or 1 kilometer a year. In plain comparison, that's 600,000 CenturyLink or Lumen fields a year. By the way, go Seahawks. What's all that molten rock got to do with the Olympic-Wallowa Linement, or OWL? Well, as with many things here, the Columbia River flood basalts covered OWL. In our next video, we're going to be talking about the Yakima fold belts, which are the ridges that you see from the Tri-Cities to Yakima and Ellensburg. These are perhaps the most well-identified part of OWL, as they all go the same direction and they all follow the same general geography. And since the shape of OWL is defined by the basalts, it means that whatever OWL is has to be below the basalt. But trust me, we still ain't there yet. With these places being so noticeable, this is really where we start getting into the nitty-gritty of what OWL is. It's so important that the U.S. Department of Energy is researching this because they may think that there's a big earthquake that's going to affect Hanford. In the next episode of the OWL series, the Yakima Fold Thrust Belt. A cat named Schrodinger, how dare you put that spoiler in our video?